Good evening, everybody. USA forecaster JD Rapp with you in the Breaking Winter Center. We just have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings in the back again. So let's go right to Storm Commander. Right now, I'm sorted out. These warnings go into effect for a little while. So there's severe thunderstorm warning. So these main effects going to be damage and winds. So take a look here again. All right, that one. One severe thunderstorm wind goes into effect at 8:45. Now new ones for Rinks County and central Mississippi, north central Sims County, central Mississippi, Hinds County, and central Mississippi, north central Compton County, and central Mississippi into Route 8:40, 9:15, central Madison County, central Mississippi into 9:15. 8:10, severe thunderstorm is located along a line extending from Fortune to Raymond to Danville, Ministry on 30. So 60 miles of wind gusts with the storm, and we could get the possibility of some spin up along this whole line is what we've been watching for the last couple hours. And we did have a couple tornado warnings with this. So you definitely want to be aware of this little, you can get kinks in the line like this and probably cause some weak sheared just like it is. So you definitely have a few storms that could get some spinning going, and that's where you get the storms going. So go back to radar, put anything in motion. That severe thunderstorm warning goes into effect into about 9:15, and there's one down here goes into effect into Sims County to 9:15, and Madison, and this one runs in effect about 8:45 for North Central Yoga County, Central Mississippi, and Central Madison County in Central Mississippi to 8:45. At 8:07, severe thunderstorm was located on a line extended from Benton to Marison to Florida, Ministry on 30. So hazard 60 miles of wind gusts. So if you're in any of these communities, you definitely be aware of some gusty winds. And I'll change echo tops and me check the Wicklow ain't going to help on these. No, really, any decent ones just west of that area, but that's some fantastic news that we don't have that. So storms will continue to go in today. We do have storms that could actually get severe. Main threat could be some gusty winds and the possibility of a few tornadoes. One second. And there's one little marker still shows weak sheared. And that's what really causes these storms to get going is we have some weak sheared, and that's why we continue to watch this. So definitely still watching the storm up to the top of this. Some weak wind sheared. So we would continue to watch these storms. Jackson County is under severe thunderstorm warning, so we would continue to watch this. Right now, I'll probably just want to put things on mute. So if we do go we see a tornado warning or any new advisories, we'll pop on for right now. For right now, I'm going to put the radar up, shut the audio off, and let things animate, and we'll continue to keep you updated. I'm USA forecaster JD. All right, everybody. Good evening. I'm forecaster JD Rat back with you again. I just want to pass along one report. Again, we have another report of a tree blown down at Highway 28 in the Dennis Crossroad down here. So that's probably some damage and straight line winds. So just be aware. But we could have the potentially seen some isolated power outages on this whole line. This is where we could get some thunderstorm warnings, possibility of a couple tornado warnings along this whole area. As we can get a little Boeing quasi system to set up, and this is where we get our independent tornadoes half of the time. So there is some weak sheared right over here, so we could be getting some weak wind shear, so we could get an isolated tornado warning for 60 miles a gust. Even some straight line winds can be bad as a tornado. So I was just going to pass that report along. But we got some gusty winds, and me and Isaac will continue to watch that, and we'll break in as we need to. All right, can you hear me, Isaac? All right, get my microphone on here. Stuck it. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just plugging back in.
Are you there?
Yeah, I am.
All right, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. I was just passing along the report. Let me back it up just a hair. We had one report down here of another tree down.
What?
We just had another report of a tree down.
Another school report. I'm going to pull up some information here from, looks like,
Looks like we got some
wind.
wind.
Local storm reports. County, Jefferson County, we've had reports of trees down. Looks like another tree down there, I-28. Gonna pull up some radar scope guidance here.
Yeah.
So, see what looks like this particular system. Looks like, yeah, this is pushing through Jackson now.
All right, we just got another severe thunderstorm warning again. Looks like.
Yeah, sure. We'll get to there. Looks like the worst of it is now getting ready to push down Jackson. Looks like Gus right above the surface there. I'm seeing what looks like at least a 40 knot gate to gate here. Rather, it's not coupled. But what I'm seeing here, as this is getting ready to push through Jackson, looks like some of this energy could be. I mean, I could translate to about 50 plus miles per hour. And I mean, the warning is, we'll see spots where gusts approach 60 miles per hour, like what this warning indicates. So again, from Pickens down to Jackson, is pushing through. And again, this is Madison, Yazoo, towards Copiah, Hines, Madison, and Rankin counties. And they have it at 60 miles per hour. We're expecting, we've had reports of trees down. Radar is also showing, like on the height of that, like some of this shear is oh yeah, we're having some 47, 46 mile per hour returns, and a lot of that energy, the storm being picked up by the downdrafts, and a lot of this energy is mixing down at the ground where we're seeing the red on reflectivity. So it might be slightly blowing out.
Yeah.
Again, you see with these linear systems, looks like we're seeing a little bit of you see a little bit of appendices along the line there. Again, this is the area that's, the northern flank of this. We have a shortwave that's going to try and blip in there, and obviously what that means looks like there's low north in Mississippi there, and I'm going to try and loop it on my end.
Mm-hmm. So let me say some things here a second. So if you definitely feel threatened by any of these storms tonight, you definitely might want to take cover. Just get away from the windows. There is that small opportunity that we could see brief tornadoes. Am I correct, Isaac? We've already seen a few tonight.
Yeah, what I am seeing here looks like the shear, the wind shear that I'm seeing. This is a little the base level shear I'm seeing. Just given what velocity is showing, we have a little bit of an area where there's a kink where there could be a little bit of a low-level draft that could be forming. It could be on the 55 corridor points east as that shortwave continues to blip in. I will caution that any surface-based lifting that in a particular area, and I'm gonna see how much that is coupled with. And
we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new circulations here. It looks like, don't we?
Could you clarify that for me? You've been cut down.
Okay, it's okay. Well, we got these little circulations, and remember the yellow ones, the yellow circles. What does that mean again? The yellow circles.
Circles, yeah, that's what GR level 3 is showing. So that's an area where we have a little bit of it's not base level rotation, but it is a rotating updraft within the storm. So it's air that is rising, but also circulating around the storm. I'm going to look at some of the higher tilt data here at some point when I can get retrieve this.
So people need to have a way to receive warnings tonight, Isaac. Here's another thing what they need to do. They need to have the way to receive warnings. Make sure you have a weather radio just in case you would go under a tornado warning, because I think some places could, or maybe even have a flashlight in case you lose power. Am I correct?
Yeah, sure. So according to poweroutage.us, as we retrieve that, looks like Texas. Looks like we have a lot of the outages are in place across Colorado, Austin, Waller, Wharton, Matagorda, and from what I'm seeing, a couple thousand folks are without power. It's a minor outage event. About 20,000 without power. Looks like 3,000 customers without power in Louisiana. Looks like not as many outages in Mississippi at the moment, but that's about 30. Will definitely change. Especially as storms are pushing through Jackson. Looks like
I'm going to show by this line here a second. I'm just showing everybody the line here. This is why the severe thunderstorm warnings are getting into everybody, is because we're starting to have this quasi line of thunderstorms come in, and this is what it's mostly likely you'll see wind damage from it. I won't roll out an isolated spin up tornado with this whole thing, but this is what you get. It's mostly wind damage, right?
Yeah, so this is definitely something we would classify as a quasi-linear convective system. That's a QLCS. So I mean, you can see along this line of storms, just looking at reflectivity, you can see just a narrow line of storms. You can see, I can see a little bit of an boundary that could be in place a little bit ahead of that, or I mean, just an area where there's a little bit of lifting ahead of that. So that's lifting low level. So I mean, that's more surface-based lifting with that. But also, there's a much better contact. I mean, there are a lot, I should say. So air that's cold on the backside, that's air that is sinking towards the ground, and where we see strongest, I'm seeing velocities over 58. Just
Goodness.
what I'm seeing now.
And there's a pink marker all the way up here too, a pink one.
Yeah, we can see the northern flank of that closer to the surface low itself. I mean, that's definitely where we have another area where there's that warmer air is filtering in, where you get some colder air on the backside of that line that's sinking towards the ground. So I mean, so air that's ahead of that is definitely influenced by that rain, super cooled rain cooled air that's falling. So I mean, that will result in velocities are showing about 40 knot, 30 to 40 knot shear with that, just at 0.5 degrees. I mean, this varies in altitude, but what I am seeing there is definitely some pretty strong shear with that. So I mean, you can see additional reports coming out of this, but yeah, it looks like Madison and Yazoo counties. Looks like that's where the shear is highest. Looks like a little bit area. I'm gonna focus a little bit more on that. Yeah, we've been looking. I've been watching right around Canton, Mississippi. That we have a little bit of Boeing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some kinks here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where we have a little bit of we might have a little bit of an inflow notch with that. So when you see something like that, you definitely can tell that there's winds at the ground or near surface, not even a mile, not even a kilometer aloft. The winds are out of the west. So I mean, that's driving the storm motion and everything. When you inflow, like, I mean, there's a sign that the winds are more out of the south, or maybe a tad bit out of the southeast, a little bit as well. So that could be directional shear that could be factoring in. And what the National Weather Service has said is that definitely gusts approaching 60 miles per hour. And when we're using on their latest update, has hinted at the possibility that if the directional velocity continues to increase there, and they'll have to watch trends from previous radar scans. This could possibility a brief spin-up tornado. You never know.
Yeah, I'm not going to roll a tornado out this warning. So I would, if you're in that one storm that has the rotation, I would still take the storm as a tornado, right, Isaac? Just go to the lowest floor, or just get away from the wind. Is that what we should word it? Just go to the lowest floor for right now and let the storm pass you.
I will point out the storm is not tornado warned. Weather communities are some sirens or anything like that. That's on a local level. We're not. I'm not receiving any reports that there's a tornado warning or report of tornado or anything like that. gets that on Spotter Network or anything that's reported to us, then that would be.
Just look at this size. Look at here.
I'm looking at the directional velocity that I'm seeing there. That's
my Lexington. Look at my Lexington here.
Well, I mean, what you could possibly see in the worst case with the signature like this that I'm seeing on radar, I mean, you'll see strong winds as that line of storms pushes through, and the strongest winds would be focused right around where that area. And if we get stronger inflow and much stronger winds further aloft, that is altitude shear. If that definitely increases, that could be hinting towards something that could be tornadic in nature.
All right, I'm looking at something.
But I mean,
did we just get a new warning or not? I just saw something pop off or maybe pop on.
I will point out what I'm seeing looks like Copiah and Hinds counties have been dropped. They have just they have created the warning. And yes, it's the same. Or no, this is a separate warning, but they've added the tornado possible tag with that. So I mean, we're seeing what could be an inflow notch that's forming in that particular area. Yeah, that's just south towards Florence, between Jackson and Florence. I'm seeing an area on radar that could be a very small inflow notch. I mean, that's where the low-level shear. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing at least 30 to yes, 50 shear. And if you couple that in, oh yeah, this is getting close to the radar site. So I mean, just south of Brandon, along I-20. This is like, I mean, when you're talking 0.5 degrees, this is pretty low altitude. So I mean, this is just above the ground. I'm gonna look at you. See if anything changes.
Definitely, if this goes under a tornado warning, you got to be ready, right? In case this does go under a warning, right?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that would be likely at this point, but it is still good that you're contingent on this. So I mean, but don't wait for a tornado warning to do some things like want to be in a site-built building. Again, buildings are not properly secured to like a foundation, or things like older manufactured homes with unstable foundations too. I mean, you could probably see a lot of areas in. I mean, especially in the South. I mean, I've seen a lot of rural areas. I mean, homes. Maybe there's older homes that the foundation or the walls are not stable. I mean, it just really depends. I mean, especially if you're in a newer home with a stable foundation, or like any site-built shelter building, will be the safest ideal place to be in a severe storm. If you're that's ideally the safest place if you're in a home, or if you're not in a building that has a permanent foundation or anything that's site built. You're going to want to you want to I mean, just pay attention to changing conditions, and I mean, especially as they do to push through. It's always prudent to use your judgment if you see I mean, you're going to want
It's
to be away from windows or exterior walls as well. And for those of you driving on north-south oriented roads, my part is clear, but I mean, any north-south oriented roadways, especially you folks that are operating high-profile vehicles, especially north-south oriented roadways, but also driving into these potentially damaging winds
yeah,
on any roadway.
yeah. I don't want anybody on the road right now. Here's another thing I was gonna put at Isaac on the situation too. You definitely don't want to be in a trailer in these kind of strong winds, because even you don't see a tornado warning tonight, even straight line winds is enough to start turning things up. It can flip over a trailer and it can hurt you if you're inside the trailer. Am I correct?
Yeah, more than definitely. I mean, tornadoes can touch down without warning. And
All right, just new severe thunder. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued. Western Lake, Link County in central Mississippi, north central Madison County in north central Mississippi to 9:45 Eastern time. At 8:44, severe thunderstorm was located along a line extended from Pickens to near Sharon to near Crickerson, moving east at 35. So hazard 60 miles of wind gust. So if you're listed in any of these communities, you definitely want to be prepared for another possible tornado. There's no tornado, but there is some sheared, right, Isaac, with the storm again, right?
Yeah. Again, I will point out this is the new warning for, I believe, Leak and Madison. That's hinting towards much stronger, like the northern part of this. It's something we're going to have to watch, because we have another wave further aloft that's kind of flipping in to this. So I mean, what I'm seeing here is much stronger low levels. You're 50 knots. This is broad shear, not necessarily something that's a couplet. But when you see these, this more broader low-level wind shear, I'm looking at super velocity, super res velocity. It's a product over radar scope. What JD is showing there is either the baseline, like swarm relative velocity product. Yeah, definitely. When you're seeing those darker green over the brighter colors, I mean that's different where you see those colors, the color palette. But my different vector tool. But I mean, you see these notches in something that is newly developing. Yeah, these influence notches are newly developing, so that's hinting towards possibility. It is zero possibility to a potential, like, I mean, not only a downdraft, but it could be a brief spin-up tornado that could potentially, if the inflow notches are, if they, with that linear updraft, and if we see what may be looking like a little bit of higher green colors that occur along that downdraft, I mean, that could be a potential tornadic signature. I mean, the National Weather Service, if will continue to monitor that portion.
So, like I said, if you feel threatened by any of these storms, like me and Isaac are trying to say, just move to the lowest floor. If you're in a mobile home, like I've been saying all evening long, you definitely don't want to be in a mobile home. Even in a straight line wind gust, you don't want to be in a mobile home. If you have a basement, that'll be the safest place to be in, to go to, right?
Like there's no foundation nearby. I mean, it is prudent if you're in a multiple structure in a general severe thunderstorm warning. If you have a properly anchored mobile home, you just pay attention if there is a severe thunderstorm warning for very high straight line winds or extreme straight line winds. I mean, obviously, the call to action is your warning.
All right, we just got a report, Isaac. A tree was blown down on a Prahaven Drive. Excuse me, near the. I mean, you can read this here. Can you read it?
Yeah, I got that. And there's another warning that just came up for Rankin Scott.
Okay, let me pull that up. Try to find that text here.
What I was,
all right,
I was saying earlier about, like, I mean, if you have trees or limbs that could get blown down, and they could potentially be onto mobile homes as well. So, I mean, this is why it's prudent to be on the lowest floor if you're in a mobile home, even if it's severe, just a general statement that hints towards damage to mobile homes, roofs, outbuildings, anything like that. I mean,
yeah, and even you know, I'm going to check here updrafts to see what we have in place. Don't really see any decent ones. Any Echo Tops pretty strong, but yeah, this just tells you, Isaac, we've been having several reports of power lines. A couple power lines down, trees. Just a good way. The reason why you don't want to be near a window, just in case a tree would knock it through the window. Now, just go to this. People need to go to the safe place, like a safe room, with concrete room. That would be good to go to, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, concrete foundations, like obviously basements, and like if you don't have a foundation, obviously the prudent thing is just to get away from windows and, like, I mean, just don't be in the attic or any, like, I mean, if the house is structurally intact, like it's framed correctly and the roof is full, I mean, like if there's like small tree banks, I mean, if you're starting to get something like larger, like it could be a couple inches to a foot in diameter limb, that could cause damage to the roof. But it's a tree, like a several foot in diameter tree that falls down onto a house. I mean, that could be where it's a problem. So, I mean, this is why
yes,
your house that are just, especially ones that are just to the west of your house, where the direction the storms are pushing towards. I mean, that is pretty, you know, like, get outer floors if you can, especially if you have outside, especially if you're closer to the outside walls. I mean, and you're going to want to be very vigilant as these storms push through as well, because I mean, JD pointed out the enhanced top earlier. I'm not really. These are not necessarily what we consider to be like supercells or anything. This is congealed into a line.
Look at that.
Downdrafts. We're not really seeing much upscale forcing. I mean, this is just several thousand feet off the ground, not necessarily like in terms of like kilometers or upper level dynamics. But I mean, what I'm seeing on here is that I mean, the Echo Tops have on that. I mean, this signifies that there's some stronger downdrafts with some downdrafts with this. So I mean, now that it's nighttime, you know that
you're not going to see it.
Daytime, not as much instability further aloft. So when that happens, obviously the air can't go further up. Air is sinking, so there's nowhere else for the air to go, but it's to sink with those downdrafts. And that makes it,
so here's another thing. Yeah, the other thing we could have is make sure you just tonight. I mean, you just You have flashlights. This is not going to be no derecho where we would have power outages, but yeah, you could definitely the power company. You might want to charge up your phone before storms move into your community just a little bit, because in case you would lose power and the power company they can't restore power until the storm passes, right?
Yeah, sure. Looks like the number of outages has increased in Mississippi. The number that is tracked on here, but it looks when obviously when I'm looking at these numbers, obviously we're talking. I think a lot of the outages that are occurring in Mississippi are in fairly isolated areas. Looks like most parts of Mississippi are not really experiencing much major problems or power outages, but if larger trees do blow down onto power lines, some localized areas could experience isolated power strikes. So again, we could have emergency supplies handy, like in any kind of situation that may result in power outages, like make sure your cell phone is charged in case of an emergency. There may not be a way to charge your cell phone if the power goes out. You want to have a way to dial 911 if you're not a line or anything like that. So I mean, and also having flashlights, battery or hand that's always prudent. But I mean, obviously having some non-perishable food and water, just something that'll. I mean,
Because this is not even new stuff. I mean, Isaac, we've been seeing we see severe weather, everybody, in the deep south this time of year. So this is nothing new. I mean, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, generally in December, this is still like a secondary severe weather peak season that generally takes place. I mean, over the Midwest or northern latitudes, I mean, probably 40 to 50 degrees north latitude, like probably parts of Canada and everything. I mean, that's where the jet stream kind of over the area. I mean, generally heading into like October, late September into like November. Nowadays,
and even February.
Part of the jet, like I mean, the strongest winds associated with the jet stream and everything kind of hover south of the 40 degrees north latitude line, where it's like tropics and whatnot. So.
Okay, let's see what we got in place now. Looking at velocity, what do you think how the velocity looks, Isaac? Since any new updates on it, I'll put the next scan on it.
Yeah, I mean, looks like low-level wind shear is kind of stable, but I mean, it's still increasing. Obviously not asking tornado at me right now, so. But yeah, we'll continue to take a look at it.
All right, we still, so far, we're not really concerned about flash flooding either, because these storms are moving pretty quick, so that's one good thing we don't have to deal with.
So, yeah, over the past hour, looks like most of us had seen a fairly stable, I think, a little bit under half an inch an hour. I mean, like a quarter to half inch of rain at most.
Let me see let me check estimates for you while we're on here right quick. I'll check hourly rainfall totals. Let me take all the markers off so we can see what we have in place. We get into the blues, where we would see, what would the blues be, Isaac? A half inch?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Here's about 3 hours ago. We didn't really have none. So, here's our warnings. Here's our markers back on. All right, so far, every now and then I see a red marker up here, so that would be some weak shear too, right?
Yeah, I believe we're a little stronger. The low level divergence velocity, so the air that's diverging on the backside, that's interacting with some stronger inflow winds near the ground. So that's something to be prudent about. Looks like it's been increasing a little bit that inflow area.
So if you feel threatened by any of these thunderstorm warnings tonight, I would just move away from windows. I still will roll out some tornado warnings, even getting close to Alabama tonight. What do you think, Isaac?
Yeah, it looks like obviously the with that short wave as it blips a northern what the threat will be contingent on would definitely be we're going to have to watch the surface. Like, I mean, if we have like flow to get, I mean, there's only so much that we're going to be looking at into Alabama. But if we do get the opportunity for obviously not only strong low level wind shear that's been it's already been an issue throughout the night.
Yes, it's already been an issue this afternoon. We had those 3 or 4 tornado warnings, and that what got things started. And now we had a quasi system, and this is what brought a couple individual tornadoes. But still, even the straight line winds that we're getting right now, they can be worse than a tornado, also too, right?
Well, sure. A straight line wind event, just minor damage to like roofs, obviously some larger tree branches, some trees, 1 or 2 feet, like a little bit less than that in diameter, could be blown over in some instances. But obviously, this isn't a event. It's just it's passing through. So more like some branches will be blown down, maybe smaller trees could get knocked over, and obviously something like if
pull up velocity again. Let's back up a little bit. They're showing up here, Isaac. I've been watching this in the last couple hours. You see this up here by Goodman?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that wind shear too, or not?
A little.
Yeah, that needs to be watched also too.
A what?
That needs to be watched.
Yeah. See if that is increasing based off of earlier radar scans and whatnot.
Pull that up and look. How you think it looks?
Hold on.
All right, I'll just do some.
It's a little area. The same inflow notches that we were looking at earlier. So I mean, if the scans trended a bit higher than previous scans, and that's where it would start being a little more concerning. Just keep a close eye on that. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised we have we can't rule out again with the possibility of embedded stronger gusts that could be stronger, and cannot be ruled out. But I don't think anything like that would end up being feed worthy at the moment. So
okay.
Major developments coming out of this, but again, outside those reports of some trees down, I'm not seeing as significant weather advisories being pushed out. Not as many local storm reports at this point. But yeah, as we go over the next hours, slight weakening trend, but the northern flank is something we're going to have to watch out for. As
yes,
kind of pushes up the I-2059 corridor something west of Birmingham, Alabama, as well. So, as you
Mm-hmm.
pointed out,
You think we'll see a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch tonight?
I don't think it's going to be to the point where we'll end up seeing a watch. As conditions over the next couple of hours looks like a lot of contingency where you see enough surface-based lifting. I mean, we'll probably be since it's not peak daytime heating, but I mean, in the unlikely situation where we have available for surface-based lifting, and if we get that situation where there's enough, for example, with that, if we get stronger inflow notches, and if we get enough divergence from some stronger downdrafts as well, that would be something that would be contingent. And if it's in a more organized area, something that would need to be watched. I mean, I'm not thinking it's going to be a widespread concern where we'll end up with tornado watches and warnings all across the board. No, I think it's not going to be a feed-worthy situation either. But just be alert for localized developments. There's a low chance, that some areas may end up being tornado warned.
I won't be surprised if that happens tonight, because we already seen storms like that happen today. I won't roll that out.
Yeah, right. Along the leading edge, they're continuing that warning for leak in Madison, but still, other than that, we haven't really received too many local storm reports coming with that.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, we still have on our line. Oh, and right as we speak, actually, we just talked about that. The Storm Prediction Center has just put out a new, the severe potential across sections of Mississippi and Alabama. Winds probable over the next couple of hours. A watch is not likely. That's we get from wind fields and wind shear. There's quite a bit of downward momentum with that. So again, it's probably an area wind threat. And if we get a brief uptick in intensity, if we get enough, have surface-based heating to feel out. If that happens, it's no surprise. Very brief instance where you could see a brief spin-up tornado situation, but again, that is going to be contingent on if we get enough stability near the surface. But I think we're going to be in a stable situation for now. This is going to be a more isolated entry. Issuance is unlikely as defined by the Storm Prediction Center, their latest mesoscale guidance, mesoscale discussion package.
And we just got 2 warnings now. I think some of the warnings have been carved out, but I still won't roll out a couple more warnings as things still continue, right?
Yeah, sure. These central warnings are expiring. I don't think we're at a condition where we'll need to continue feed or anything like that at this point.
I'll continue to watch it though.
I think this is a good place to end the stream. At least I'm gonna jump off of here. If you have anything, feel free to
Well, I'll watch this for you tonight, okay? If there's any more warnings, I'll pop on.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right, this is Isaac Shock, and this is the forecaster JD. We'll continue to keep you updated for the night.